This is The Gorge, the podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves in what's been happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month you gain access to not one, but two entire podcasts. $5 gets you Takeout, a monthly commentary track where Ben and I decide we don't feel like playing something and analyzing it and using our big brains. So instead, we just talk over something else. And $2 gets you Praetorian Pals, a monthly series where Ben, Saturn, Oates, and myself start an MSQ roulette in Final Fantasy XIV and talk about whatever deranged thing comes to mind. That's the only way to describe it. $2 also gets you the entire back catalog of That's Hell You're Walking Into, a podcast where Ben asks me questions about Fate Stay Night, Fate Grand Order, and the extended Xenoverse. Yeah, there's a lot with the Patreon. You should just go. It also gets you, hey, if you join the Patreon, you also get exclusive roles in our Discord server.
Yeah.
Join. Need to remember to add that into the spiel. Anyways, there's all that and more, kinda, at patreon.com/thegorge. Thank you to everyone who kicks in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you to Seven the Chronicler, Robin the Bun, Rodsters, Ben's Delivery Service, Palm of Power, Jasper Drada, Steel Condor, That Guy Red, Holy Star 64, Neon Hellcat, Patrick Perez, Rosie One Half, Saturn, Alice Marks, Maga, Shia, Magus, Jack, Liam Lane, and that other one dude.
It's getting so hard to say them all out loud. I like that we have a guy. I like that we have That Guy Red and also that other one dude. Like, I feel like there's a duo there somewhere.
I wish they were back to back in the list so that like it would fit better.
Yeah, exactly. Ben, what are we doing this week?
We're gonna shoot the shit and talk about what we've been doing, and then there's some stuff that happened in the world beyond our doors that we can talk about.
I'll go first, mostly because it's short. Because Thanksgiving also happened, and I've been busy with like family and stuff. But I've just completely forgotten what the other thing I was going to talk about is. Oh no!
Oh no!
I was going to say I've been doing my More Than Meets the Eye read through, but I feel like there's something else I was going to talk about. It's completely gone.
Oh no!
How did that happen? How does this happen? I was literally thinking during the intro, I should make sure to talk about that. And then it just...
And then it was gone.
And then it was gone. And then it was gone. That's so tragic. Well, I do have... I guess I mentioned it. We could talk about Earthspark in the intro.
We can. We did actually finish that, didn't we?
Yeah, because last time we talked about it, we had only watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
the first handful of episodes.
So I guess we could talk about, because I was like worried. I was like, this is going to be kind of a dry intro, like a dry first half of the wrap up, because like obviously holidays have kept us both from, doing everything we want to do. But then I remembered, no, part of the reason is that surprise, Transformers is back.
Yeah.
Surprise, we're on that kick again.
Yeah, everyone who said so was right. It is backloaded in the second half of the first half of the season. The second quarter of the season, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I will say, I think Earthspark has a really lousy first 5 episodes, like going back. Like, they're cute, but they're just kind of cute,
They are in the level of maturity and depth, they are more between animated and like rescue bots than animated and Prime.
Right. And it's very like, and the problem there is like, okay, fine, it's a show for children. That's fine, I guess, but it is still also trying to be kind of Prime adjacent in a way. But it also feels like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, vis-a-vis like the kids.
They're trying to have the moral ambiguity and shades of gray that would exist in a more like preteen to teen aimed
like
show.
your 10 to 16-year-old demographic. Yeah.
With the overall tone of like your 8 to 10-year-old show.
Right. Your rescue bots and what have you.
Yeah.
My suggestion, obviously we've already come too far, but Robbie and Bo should have been twins.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I think that would solve a lot of like the weird age demographic strangeness of the first episode, right?
Yeah.
Also, it'd be a fun, or the first 5 episodes also be a fun parallel to Twitch and Thrash.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Robbie and Mo should have been twins. That's the big thing I think would have solved a lot of problems. So like, yeah, the first 5 episodes are, I think they're not very good. I think I'm willing to say I don't think they're good. I think they're okay.
They're your typical I just learned a lesson episode,
right.
You know.
Sure. Which is fine if you're, if you're a little kid, but they're like, again, demographically this show's very weird.
Yeah, for the age group they're targeting with that, it's great,
Mm-hmm.
Like they're very simple plots to follow, and the characters are still very dynamic and enjoyable.
Sure. My one fear is that, like, because it seems like they're not quite sure who this show is for, I'm hoping it doesn't lose its focus as the show goes on, like, because that can be a real problem with cartoons and stuff, is that when you can't settle on who it's for, then it's like it's too grown up for the little kids, but it's too childish for the big kids, right?
Right.
And like that could happen. I mean, like the last 5 episodes are really good, and if it maintains that course, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be the best Transformers show if it could maintain that course.
I feel like I would be more worried if the episodes were alternating rather than front loaded.
That's true.
Like
that's true.
If it was, okay, here's the cast, here we're going to ease you into the new world and the mechanics behind it,
sure,
and whatnot, and now we can afford to have some plot happening.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good thing to make.
If it was like, here's the Soundwave episode, and then here's the episode where they deal with the cows.
Right.
It's
like, no, we need to be going this direction now with more robots. This show is packed to the gills with robots, which rules.
Yeah.
This is not Transformers Prime, where like there's only like a small handful of robots because those models are expensive.
Where we were blessed with the fact that like it was like hope beyond hope that Ultra Magnus, Smokescreen, and Wheeljack got to be main characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it was
a miracle that Ultra Magnus got to be in Prime at all. Let's be real for a minute.
Like it was. I was like honestly floored watching Prime when Wheeljack showed up for a second time.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, are you sure?
Well, they had to have him show up for a second time. They spent all that money on that model.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're actually gonna make Smokescreen like a main character who sticks around?
Oh my god!
You're allowed to do that?
Whereas, to change the status quo like that.
Whereas animated is like, here's Wreck-Gar.
And he's
Wendell.
Here. We have so many fucking robots in animated, but it's also because they're animated. You don't have to spend money on a model. But now they're like, listen, we're gonna spend money on this model.
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad they did, because there's so many robots in this show. I think they all look great. Every single design is good. Obviously, the best design is the Megatron design, because it's just the IDW design, which is incredible.
It was confirmed that they were inspired by the IDW design. Yeah,
Nick Roche posted the the mood board for the character design, and like literally on the mood board is his More Than Meets the Eye design. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. They knew.
And Nick Roche literally drew he drew comics for IDW, so
right.
like, yeah, of course. So like, but no, like all of the designs are good. Alita looks really like Alita is actually one of my favorite designs in the show, other than Megatron.
I love Soundwave's design.
Soundwave is perfect. He's just a Gundam now.
Incredible design, blending blending the best aspects of G1 and Prime
Mm-hmm.
into this design, where he still evokes kind of the blockiness that I love about Soundwave, but also like still making him like sleek and very intimidating.
Yeah, he's like, he's the cool, hyper competent, quiet one, and they wanted to pull from like the Prime design for that, and you can super tell. And like, yeah, he just looks great. I'm glad they just. One of the funniest things about Soundwave is the fact you have to contend with that his little guys are all cassettes, and it's always like, well, how do we adapt Soundwave for modern audiences with the cassettes? And Prime was like, well, they're drones.
Yeah.
But Earthspark is like, no, they're just cassettes.
They're just still
don't know
cassettes.
what they are. The kids just don't know what a cassette is, and it's like, okay, this rules. Okay.
It is the only thing I don't like about him is that he does not turn into a cassette player.
No, he doesn't
obviously,
turn into a boombox. Yeah.
But you can't do that if it's only going to be Soundwave. He can't be a cassette player because someone needs to carry him around.
Exactly.
Then.
So he gets an extremely cool stealth bomber mode instead.
Yeah.
It looks fucking sick. Show looks great. Animation looks really, really good. Like
the thing I love is that you can tell this is the Rise team.
Yeah, all of the hand animated effects are so good. Like, it's such a cool. When they first started showing promos for this show, I was really like, I don't know about this, Chief. I think you can actually go back and listen to the episode where we talk about the Earthspark promo, and I'm very like, I don't know about this one. But now that I've like watched all of it, I actually think this show looks great. I love how Mandroid's fucking fortress at the end of part 1 just looks like Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah!
It just looks like Howl's Moving Castle. It's so good.
I also think Mandroid is a great character.
He's a great character. Extremely funny that he's got Optimus Prime and Megatron just calling him Mandroid against his will, mind you.
It is very evocative of Dr. Robotnik just kind of accepting that he's now Eggman.
Correct. It's like he's very much kind of a hybridization of Cyrus from Silas, yeah. Silas from Prime, and also like the goofier human villain characters from Animated, where he does have the ridiculousness of a giant robot arm, but is still kind of threatening and hates the robots. It's like, oh, that's a great concept. It rules.
Mandroid to me is kind of like the poster child of the fact that that Earthspark feels like you just put Animated and Prime in a blender.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this is what comes out.
Yeah, and it's really good so far. Like, I was, by the time I was done with episode 10, I'm like totally sold on it now.
Because I feel like, the redesigns for Prime, like the character redesigns and whatnot, felt like we are just adapting their designs to a new art style and leaving their personalities intact.
Right.
Whereas Animated was like, oh, well, these guys are going to, like, the Constructicons are going to be construction workers.
Right.
And they are going to talk like the pit boss is coming. And they're gonna catcall it Corvettes driving by.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna Perceptor in Animated speaks with a Microsoft Sam voice.
Right.
And I feel like you look at the designs for a lot of these Earthspark characters, like especially Frenzy.
Yeah, Frenzy's design is so good. I hope Rumble isn't actually dead, like the movie kind of implies. I really hope he's not dead. I hope he comes back.
But you look at these designs and you're like, okay, no, we are going to try new interpretations of these characters.
Yeah, they're really good.
I love, kind of like Rise, how like we talk about how like in Rise, like Raph and Leo are responses to what Raph and Leo have been in the past.
Right.
Like they're asking like, well, what if Leo didn't have the burden of being leader? This is what he turned into. you look at characters like Megatron and B, I think especially like Megatron, like what if he did chill out? What if he did actually accept the peace offering that Optimus, extended to him?
Right, yeah, exactly.
And then what if B was actually sick of being the Kid Appeal character?
Yeah, and wanted to be the cool hero character instead. But it's great. We have a Bumblebee who actually speaks.
Yes.
Incredible. Thank God.
Oh my God, there's no caveat to him just being able to talk now.
He just talks. We don't need radio chirps or anything like that. And he has his horn design back again. Like,
yeah,
his classic Bumblebee horn design. It's really good. While
still being like a sports car now.
Yeah, he's a sports car instead of a VW Bug now. Like, it's really good. There's just a lot of really smart art design choices being made. And like, oh yeah, overall I think once you hit the back half of the season,
yeah,
the back part of the first half,
yeah,
it's really good. I sure wish they would release the last 10 episodes. I sure wish they would.
I'm mad we don't even have like news on when that's happening.
I know. I'm just like, please. I know they've got to be done. So just release them already. I would really like that. I'm really hoping the show gets like, I know animated shows never last long anymore, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if this show can get like, I don't know, 2 to 3 seasons with 20 episodes apiece, oh, that's all I need, right? That's 60 episodes. Yeah.
That's a pretty good chunk.
That's a respectable run. Transformers Prime didn't even get that. It had its last season was a half season.
Yeah, like a mini series more than a season.
Yeah, it was 10 episodes?
Yeah, like 12. I think 12 episodes where the other two were like 24, I think.
So
one final thing, I love Wheeljack's voice.
I'm so glad they just went whole hog on making him like cool Southern genius guy. It rules. I'm so glad. I like that he sounds like a cowboy. But kind of more like a fancier cowboy than like a rugged cowboy. Yeah, he's more of like a showman cowboy, Yeah, exactly. Not like a guy who wrestles cows, but a guy who does like, shooting shows and stuff like that. Lasso tricks and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Rules. Great. His design is also really good. I like his facial hair and finger quotes. Yeah, it's all good. The only thing is that I don't like Swindle's design. I don't like his tiny mouth. But other than that, I love Swindle's design in general. I love him being a mobster. Yes, if you're not going to go with used car salesman, then the next obvious decision is making him just like a mob goon. Yeah. Yeah, goon is the word for him. Goon. He's just a goon. So yeah, Earthspark is great. It made me reread More Than Meets the Eye, which I'm in the middle of doing right now. It's actually open on my computer as we speak. Actually, no. One more thing. One more thing. Aunt Ward just being like, these parental figures will be just referred to as mom and dad. Yeah, those are just... Congrats to Dot Malto, who now has 5 robot children alongside her 2 human children. Yeah. Good for her. I am very glad that Twitch and Thrash just call Dot and Alex mom and dad. Yeah. Also, Twitch is the best. Twitch is my horrid little child, and I'm obsessed with her. Yeah. Just like, what if there was a little creature? What if there was just a little creature flying around? I'm very grateful that she is getting a deluxe figure before Thrash. And, however, I saw that one Twitter post that was like, what was it? Secret unknown Quintesson programming glitch. The first guy on any planet just kind of looks like this. Yeah. Rung and Thrash. Yeah. Someone also pointed this out. My hope is that when Thrash does get a deluxe figure, you could easily redeco him into Fulcrum. Oh yeah. They even have the same chin strap. They do have the same chin strap and the goggle.
Because
Oh my
you
God.
can't,
Yeah.
you can't make fulcrum into like a bomb. That
No,
can't
of
be a
course
toy
not.
to sell to
You
children.
can't sell children a transforming
But
bomb.
he can be a motorcycle. That's
You
fine
can turn
too.
into a motorcycle. Yeah, absolutely. Oh God. Okay. Now
Right.
we're good.
Okay.
Real briefly, yes, I did start rereading More Than Meets the Eye. Hey, did you know More Than Meets the Eye is a really good comic book?
I think we did 3 whole episodes on that. So
Did we do 3 whole episodes about how good More Than Meets the Eye is?
yeah.
Great. Good to know. Yeah. That's still a good. We're still a good one. I actually just skipped Dark Cybertron this time.
Well,
I'm like,
yeah.
listen, I know what happens in that. I don't.
You don't, but you know what happens. Because no one knows what happens in Dark Cybertron.
No one actually knows what happens in Dark Cybertron, but that's not the point. Yeah, no, that's still good. What else? I can't believe I forgot the other thing. I'd never seen the movie Drive before. I saw that over Thanksgiving. My brother and I sat around and we watched Drive, that Ryan Gosling movie. Do you know that movie's 11 years old now?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it made me feel really, really old because I remember when that movie came out.
So is your brother going to go buy the jacket now?
My brother, no, but my brother has seen that movie approximately, according to him, 60 times. So he is the kind of guy who would, you know?
Yeah.
If he didn't live in small town Alabama, I'm sure he would. But, you know. Yeah, that movie's good. It's not what I expected. The thing about Drive is that I've played a lot of video games that clearly took influence from Drive, aka I have played a Devolver Digital game before.
Yeah.
Because like I've played Katana Zero and I've played Hotline Miami 1, never played 2. And like those games are, you know, they're doing the same kind of thing, like the blue and purple lighting that's like really like that kind of gets started. It's not really as prevalent in Drive as you're led to believe. It's actually more his like that director's later movies where he really leans into that. And John Wick also leans into it super hard. But, you know, it's in that movie, and this kind of idea of like the loner guy who goes in and does violence set to like 80s synthwave music, right? Like that's that is explicitly influenced by the movie Drive, right?
Right.
But Drive is a lot slower than I realized. Like there's only a couple of moments of like violence, and they're not like cool fight scenes. They're just like explosive crime world violence, you know, some guy getting beat to death with a hammer, that kind of thing. So it wasn't what I was expecting. It's a lot slower and a lot more like thoughtful than that. But I enjoyed it. I actually liked it a lot. Yeah. It's really good. Unfortunately, it did make me want to buy driving gloves. I will not because I drive a busted Nissan Maxima. But I was just like, boy, but I could just buy some driving gloves. I could buy some. Nobody could stop me.
No one can stop you.
Nobody could stop me, but I'm not going to put on driving gloves to drive my I love my car, but its paint is fading. So I'm not going to put on driving gloves for that. Sorry, Max. Yeah, that's it. Again, I thought I had something else to talk about, and I don't.
Well, when you remember it while I'm midway through my spiel, you can just feel free to
I'll just interject. Okay.
Yeah. I did a handful of things.
Sure.
All of it quick again because holidays kind of cut me off from doing a bunch of stuff, and also something else cut me off from doing something. I'll go over the smaller stuff first. I started 2 new comics, well, 1 comic and 1 manga.
Okay.
I started the new Fantastic Four by Ryan North.
Okay.
Which is it starts off really strong. The first issue is a self-contained story where it's the Thing and his wife Alicia. They get caught in a Twilight Zone episode. Where a town keeps repeating the same day over and over again, and they have to figure out how to break the time loop.
Sure. Sounds cool.
It was a really cute issue. Ryan North, obviously, he's the author of Dinosaur Comic, so he has a great handle on writing character interaction.
Right.
Considering that's all dinosaur comic is.
Right.
And it was really funny. It was really charming and heartwarming. It's great to see Alicia Masters get to be a character and not a prop for Ben Grimm.
Yay! It only took however long. It's only 2022. Don't worry about it.
Dan Slott, who's the previous writer for Fantastic Four, was the one who finally got them married for real.
Oh, okay.
And then proceeded to not do much with her.
Sure.
As you do.
As you do.
But no, it was really good. It also ended on so you probably, since you follow both me and Red, you might have seen this.
No, I haven't.
It's basically the flirting versus harassment with the same mystery box as Amazing Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
Where, the Amazing Spider-Man thing is like, what did Peter do? And it's like a crater in New York.
Right.
The issue of Fantastic Four ends with Ben and Alicia driving off after they, solved the time loop.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, we're glad, well, that's okay. We're going to figure out what to do next. Like, we can't really go back home after what Reed did. And then it cuts to the crater in New York.
Great.
And I don't
Plot
know.
twist so nice they used it twice.
I don't know what's funnier. The idea that Peter and Mr. Fantastic were responsible for the same incident, but Peter is the only one taking the blame for it. Or that there were, at the same time, two completely separate crater incidents.
Yeah. Oh, both are extremely funny. The first one sounds more like a Reed Richards thing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, Spider-Man's taking the fall for this one. But the second one is also very like, well, can't help living in New York in the Marvel Universe.
Can't have shit in New York.
Can't have shit in New York in 616,
Mr. Fantastic cratered my front porch. Can't have shit in New York.
Oh, God. What is this manga? Oh, go ahead.
But it is funny just because, like, how much better handled this is compared to Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, this is a whole story about something that's not that. And then we're going to see how characters, like, actually deal with the fallout of it. Rather than just not existing anymore.
That's nice.
Like, instead of, nothing happening.
Instead of just doing another dog shit mystery box premise.
What if something happened?
What if something happens instead of nothing? I know that's a crazy idea, but
wow, it really just does feel like flirting versus harassment.
Yeah, absolutely. the Chad crater in New York versus the Virgin crater in New York. Oh,
God. Yeah, the manga I read, it just started in Shonen Jump. So, I've had some
doomed.
Some bad luck with new manga in Shonen Jump on the Viz app in the past couple years.
Sure.
But this one that I started,
This one will be different?
No, this one will be exactly the same. This one I know is going to fail.
Oh, no. Which one is... Okay, what is it?
It is called Ichigoki's Under Control.
Okay.
And the premise of it is that it's about this dude and his childhood friend who is a brilliant scientist who does all kinds of like dumb experiments and shit. Wakes up one morning and she is very small. She used the potion on herself to live in her own dollhouse and then couldn't change back.
Okay.
And so while she's like messing with him and like being because she's an absent-minded genius type thing, she ends up getting him hit by a truck.
Oh no, he got isekai'd?
But so what happens is then he wakes up and while he was near death, she converted him into a robot.
Oh.
She
Okay.
forgot to give him autonomous control. So now she has to pilot him inside his head until she can program autonomous control back into him.
Oh yeah, this song is dead.
And then they fight an escaped gorilla.
Yeah, this one's
So this isn't gonna last.
No, this one, no, my man. This one's dead in the water. I'm here to tell you. Yeah, no, it's extremely doomed.
This is not the premise you can stretch for 100 chapters.
No, I don't even think you can stretch it for 10. But
you know, sometimes you read like a manga that like has the hopes of being a long run, and you're like, okay, I can see where this could go places.
Sure.
You think about whatever your opinions of them are for like One Piece or Bleach or Naruto. It's like, yeah, you can go places with this premise. You can take this to places.
Yeah, totally. It's open-ended enough that you can take it in any kind of direction and run that bitch into the ground over the course of 10 to 25 years, you know?
Sorry about that. Thank you, Zencaster. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
But no, the Ichigoki is under control. Like,
oh, right.
This can't last.
No, I'm sorry. This thing's fucking doomed. Yeah, Ben. No.
Unless within like chapter 5, you completely genre shift.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it's revealed that there's tons of guys with people piloting them like robots, right?
Like, you gotta remember Katekyo Hitman Reborn?
Yes.
And how that like completely genre shifted like 10 chapters in, and it became like actually like, oh, this is better.
Yeah, like, oh, now it's a shonen battle manga. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if they take this and make it just a straight traditional battle shonen,
sure,
you can save this.
Sure, but as it stands in its current premise, no, it's extremely doomed.
This is a gag manga that cannot sustain itself off of this joke.
Oh, so tragic.
So I'm expecting this one to die in 5 chapters.
Hey, that's good at least. You're not going to be disappointed when it's dead.
Unlike everything else that I was like, this is really good. Oh,
okay. What about this? Oh.
Again? Really? 3 times in a row this is going to happen to me?
No. Oh, well.
But then I also played 3 other games. Well, 4 actually. I have started officially speedrunning Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow.
Nice. Saw that.
Which is an SNES Disney game. My goal is to, because I was looking into like, because Goemon, as much as I love running Goemon, it's at least 2.5 hours.
Right.
Like, and that's first place right now. That's assuming I can get a run that gets to within that range, right?
Uh-huh.
That's not sustainable to do consistently with my schedule. It just is not.
Of course.
I can't do that.
You're a grown up with not a lot of free time, you know?
Yeah. The world record for Cold Shadow is a half hour.
Much better. And
my current time is like 45 minutes. That is doable.
Totally much more manageable, yeah.
I can sink some time into that. Mm-hmm. I also was looking at stuff I could run, and I realized on the SNES, there is, and 3 games that I've like familiar because I played them when I was a kid. There is a Mickey game called Mickey Mania. There's a Donald game called Cold Shadow.
Uh-huh.
And there's a Goofy game called Goof Troop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if I just became like the Disney Trio speedrun guy? What if I just the Disney Trio SNES guy?
Yeah. What if you just like it's like your Kingdom Hearts roots, showing? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just like what if I did that? And I looked at the times, looked at the runs. It's like, oh yeah, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes. It's doable. Super easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna work on Cold Shadow first and get that kind of down to a comfortable time, and then start branching out into other things, and just eventually be like, I'm gonna do all 3 of them in one day. Here's the stream. Let's do it.
That would be fun. It's kind of like you remember at GDQ 2 years ago, there was Tomato Angus. The G is silent. I follow him on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was Tomato Angus. He did that really, really fun Fallout franchise.
Yes.
Run. Yeah, it was like one of the best like GDQ speedruns ever because he's just able to like explain things so thoroughly.
Yeah.
That would be an extremely funny new category that you just invented.
Yeah.
sloth is just like like a Disney SNES trio like run where you have all three as fast as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my goal for that. So if you watch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/ the Gorge Podcast, I'll be doing that whenever I can.
Sure.
I played more Return to Monkey Island and more Sonic Frontiers.
Okay.
Both of them are still really, really good. I am loving Return to Monkey Island. I think it is so far my favorite of the ones I've played.
Okay.
Just because it plays mechanically so much better and more efficiently. And it's also really, really funny.
Okay, good.
Sonic Frontiers continues to be amazing. It controls great. I am loving everything about it. All of the character writing is top notch. What I wanted to mention is that the way that Ian Flynn writes the Sonic characters is really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Because he treats them with all the experience that they should have.
Okay.
Like, especially in the comics and in this game too, Sonic sounds kind of tired.
Oh, fun. So like more kind of like it's just like, I don't know.
Like he's
self-aware.
He's still, he's still very energetic. He's still very go get him, and he's a hero. But you can tell he doesn't have the patience for a lot of things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when something goes wrong, or like, and he's dealing with a situation, he doesn't have the patience or the awe, like that a situation would bring about to someone who's seeing it for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, been there, done that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a really great bit in the comics where it's after the Metal Virus arc, because he had to he's sending the Deadly Six back to their home planet or wherever the fuck they're from. Who cares about the Deadly Six?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares? But
right.
The lead guy Zavik is like, well, you're letting me go when you could have killed me, and in fact, if you had killed Eggman, none of this would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Sonic, and there's like flashbacks to all the times other characters said, like, if you had killed Eggman, none of this would have been happening.
Right.
Like, this is kind of on you, because you won't pull the trigger on someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes out of it, and he's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. Get the fuck off my planet.
Right, yeah.
And his whole thing with Surge in the comic is really good too, where it's like, her whole thing is that she was basically brainwashed into hating Sonic. Her and Kit are the androids. They're androids 18, 17, and 18.
Yeah.
They were programmed by a mad scientist to kill Goku. I mean Sonic.
Right.
So she hates Sonic, even though they've never met. And so when they finally fight, she's like, I'm going to kill you because I hate you so much. And Sonic is like, whatever.
I don't care, man. Get in line.
There are so many of you.
Get in line, yeah. That's great. I love that.
It's really, really good. And you feel that in Frontiers, where Sonic is talking to Sage, and he's like, come on, man, do we have to do this?
Right.
This would go a lot smoother if you would just help me and back off.
Yeah, that's great.
We don't have to do this.
Can we just make this easy for once, please? No, fine. I
no. So you get the Chaos Emeralds, you go Supersonic, you fight the first boss, you go to the next island, and then Sonic gets shot down by a laser beam, and the Chaos Emeralds get knocked out of him.
Sure.
And he lands and hits the ground, and the first thing he says is, oh yeah, I wouldn't want this to be easy.
Yeah, no, never. Of course not.
No, yeah, okay.
Fine. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I really dig it.
Yeah.
And then I also have been trying to play more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Trying.
If you have been keeping an eye on my Discord account, you would see me doing the Fallout 3 starting your car in cold day thing.
Yeah, sure.
Because I booted it up like a week or so ago. I'm like, all right, I have some time to kill. I just want to get a couple more. Like, Xenoverse has become like, I don't have the time or the motivation to do 14.
Mm-hmm.
But Xenoverse is close enough. I can play a little Xenoverse.
Yeah, absolutely. It's even more brainless. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I started up, and it's like, oh, my controller prompt, because it's a PC game, it's a wild card what your prompts will actually look like.
Sure, of course.
They used to be Xbox buttons, and I play it on a DualSense.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
Sure, whatever. Fine, that's how it is.
And like I booted up, and it turned, instead of Xbox buttons, it looked like generic 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, whatever. I guess there was a patch recently. Maybe it's like adjusting my controller settings or something.
Sure.
Get into the game. I try to fly around. You know when in Conton City, like there's like the message board, like the chat board.
Yeah.
That shows you announcements and like who's been saying what in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I get into that, and I try to fly around, and I try to descend, and I press the descend button, and the chat window pops up.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, that's not right. That's not good.
No.
I go to my controller settings, and I try to see what's going on here, and my L2 and R2 buttons aren't reading at all. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
So I look at the controller, I go to the controller settings, and I go to, like, remap the buttons. I'm like, okay, well, maybe something got screwed up when it updated, or like, whatever. I can just remap the buttons. It'll be fine.
Sure.
Well, it's not. If I go to remap the buttons, it's not registering when I press L2 and R2. Like, it's not like, it's
Weird.
like, what do you want your dash button to be?
And it's just not even registering that you're pressing the buttons at all.
Yeah. So I'm like,
okay.
What's going on here? So I disconnect, I turn it off, turn it back on, and I'm trying to navigate my settings for it. I'm like, okay, well, maybe Steam is reading my controller as like a controller keyboard hybrid.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And it thinks my L2 and R2 buttons are on the keyboard somewhere.
Sure, yeah. Because
Okay.
Steam is how you configure your controller settings sometimes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I go into the Steam settings, and I'm like, okay, well, I see PlayStation support is turned on. And Switch support is turned on. Okay, maybe it thinks this is a Pro controller for some reason.
Right.
So I turn that off and I go back in it, and it's still the same thing. I can't do anything. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's not a Steam thing. Maybe it's how Xenoverse itself is communicating with Steam. So I go and I turn off Steam input for Xenoverse. I'm like, just directly read the controller that's plugged in via USB.
Right.
And I go in there, and now it's not seeing any controller.
Great. Great.
It's just seeing my keyboard. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I plug it back in, and I'm going in there, and I'm looking at it, and I go to my controller settings for player 1, because you can pick like what your settings for each player are.
Mm-hmm. And
under my thing, it has keyboard, controller, and then controller for Xbox.
Huh?
And I look at it, and I'm thinking, well, wait, so the one labeled controller, ironically, is my Xbox buttons.
Okay.
So that's the one that it should just be on plain controller.
Right.
And the one that's controller for Xbox has the buttons labeled with the 1, 2, 3, 4 generic symbols.
Uh-huh.
And when I press L2 and R2, it temporarily switches over to the Xbox buttons.
What?
And I'm realizing, oh, for some reason, this game is reading my one DualSense controller as 2 individual controllers.
What?
And I go, okay, now I know what the problem is.
Sure.
Somehow this got turned on. There's got to be a way in the game to disable those inputs, right? There's got to be like some setting within Xeno, because I'm like, okay, let me boot up Hades and see what that does. I boot up Hades and I remap the buttons to L2 and R2, and those work.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so it's not a Steam thing. It's a Xenoverse thing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm in full IT mode at this point.
Yeah, Courtney, you are now actively doing your job without getting paid. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, okay, well, let's try to figure this out. So what can I do? So I'll go and turn this off. Try this. Turn it back on. Try this. Turn this off, but turn this on.
Uh-huh.
And the annoying thing is I have to boot up the game,
Yep.
log in as my character, get to Canton City, and try to fly. Because in the menus, the buttons work fine. Like, I can move up and down and select things and whatnot.
Sure.
The only discrepancy in the mapping is, like, my in-game maneuverability. And so I'm like, okay, I post on the Steam forums on Xenoverse 2. I post in the Reddit for Xenoverse.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, here's what's going on here, but what can help? So, like, okay, try this, and this. Already did that. Try this, and this. Try that. Okay. Download this thing called DS4 or X360, which is a software that
I know what X360 is. Yeah,
they trick your PC into reading any controller as an Xbox controller.
Yeah, back in the day, it's kind of a dinosaur these days because a lot of PC games just come native with controller support, right? Yeah. But like back in the day, that was like a thing you needed to use. It's not as vital as it used to be. That's very funny. Okay.
Yeah. So I go and I do that. I'm like, okay, well, I get this working. I download something called Hide, which also hides a US, like it'll see what's connected via USB and then allow you to hide one of them.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that then. I'll hide my DualSense.
You really did just like go full IT guy on this one, huh?
And I want to play fucking Xenoverse.
I know, I don't blame you.
And I'm like, okay, so I'll hide this one and allow it to only read the fake Xbox controller now.
Okay.
And I get in, and it works.
Great.
I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can get to work where I was. Let me go adjust my skills.
No!
Crashes. And I go, okay, probably a fluke.
Oh, no.
Because, of course it's my luck that I would go through all this shit for days. This took me days to figure out.
Of course. And then you think like, okay, my luck is bad enough. The game is also just going to crash.
Yeah, I'm going to get in and play for 5 minutes, the game's going to crash. Okay, that's fine.
Fine.
I boot it back up. I do a little bit of flying around. I do a little bit of stuff. I'm like, okay, 5 minutes. Okay, we're good. We should be good here. I'm going to adjust my costume. I'm going to do a little bit of inventory management. Go to change my skills. Game crashes.
Okay.
I go and I turn off the X360.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I can at least get into the game. And even if I can't maneuver the game, I can still maneuver the menus.
Mm-hmm.
I go to change my skills. The game doesn't crash. So I go back to the forums. Okay. And I'm like, hey, this worked, but now my game is crashing. And then a few days later, someone responds with, oh yeah, that happens. Apparently, this issue for the PC version has just been ongoing for years.
What?
And for some reason, at some point, it will just stop reading your USB controllers correctly.
Great!
And there is just nothing you can do about it.
See, this is the difference between Ben and myself, dear listener. Because Ben is like, well, I'm going to IT guy this shit. You know what I would have done at this point? Bought the PlayStation version.
Well, yeah, I mean, I own the PlayStation version still. That's what I played it originally, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to redo this whole game on the PS5, aren't I?
Yeah.
Because
buddy.
I just can't play it on PC anymore.
I'm sorry, buddy. You're cursed. Thanks, Namdai. Stay beautiful.
Thank you, Namdai. This game is 6 years old now. You could have fixed this.
This is a bug you probably could have fixed years ago, but you just didn't. Thanks.
And I mean,
crazy because like I put a shit ton of time into Xenoverse 2 and I played it on my computer with a controller and it never happened, but it just happens randomly.
Yeah, it's just,
Amazing.
I guess it's like an inevitability.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, I even was like, okay, let me plug in my DualShock 4.
Okay.
Like, maybe it's a controller thing. Nope, it's the exact same thing. It's just, the game will eventually just stop working.
Pac-Man kill screen.
And so I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, and the fortunate thing is, like, unlike, like Fallout or so, like, I didn't have any mods for Xenoverse.
Sure.
So it's not that, I just played it on PC for convenience's sake, because it was already there. So it's not that big a deal.
No.
But I'm still just like, come on, man.
Come on, man. Sorry. Rip.
So that has been my week.
I'm sorry. Well, Ben, maybe the news will make you feel better.
You know what? There are some things in the news that will make me feel better.
Oh, great.
Like this one. Yuji Naka has reportedly been arrested as part of the Square Enix insider trading investigation.
Oh, you can't start with that one.
Yes, I can.
So, when this story broke, that morning I woke up and as you do, because I'm an old woman, I wake up, I make my coffee, I check Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I check Twitter. Yeah. I check Twitter and I see Square Enix employees captured in insider trading probe, right? Arrested in insider trading probe. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Well, that's crazy. And then I go about my day. It says like 3 Square Enix employees, caught in insider trading probe. Cool.
Yeah.
And then later in the day, the news broke that one of those employees was Yuji Naka himself. Which is just, and it's the most dog-brained kind of like stupid asshole getting caught at insider trading, because do you have the details in it? Because I know them kind of off the top of my head. So this company called I think it's Ascension. What's the company that is making the new Dragon Age or the Dragon Quest Tactics game?
Aiming. Okay.
So they were announced that they're making this new Dragon Quest Tactics game. And obviously if you worked at Square Enix, you would know that. If you were a big team lead at Square Enix, like Naka was, he's fired now. He was fired a while ago, actually. Like Yuji Naka was, then you would know that. And so literally right before the Dragon Quest Tactics announcement, Naka goes and buys like 10,000 shares in Aiming. And it's like, bro.
Which you very much can't do.
That's actually extremely illegal, as it turns out. You're not allowed to do that.
That's one of the few things that is like definitely not allowed. And in terms of like capitalism and dealing with finances, is like,
absolutely,
you can't do like a lot of things are very vague and there are loopholes everywhere.
Yeah, but the thing is that, and you can loophole to your heart's content to make insider trading work, right? Like there are almost certainly ways to loophole your way into correctly insider trading. Just ask Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. However, just showing up, like, I'm just imagining just like showing up to like an ice cream counter and being like, 10,000 stocks in Aiming, please. And he like showed his actual, like, his government issue ID and bought them with his actual credit card. And
would you like to pay cash? No, I'll sign this check.
I'd like a copy of the receipt. Thanks,
Let's take a selfie, you and me.
With this picture with the computer screen in the background with my 10,000 shares in Aiming. And it's like, bro, you can't do that. You have to have like even a little bit of subterfuge to like a couple backdoors to make it not look so obvious that you literally just weren't like, well, company email says that Aiming is going to be making Dragon Quest. Guess I should go buy some shares in Aiming. It's not how that works, man.
No, that's definitely the way you did it is the most illegal.
It's just like dog brained. That's what it really is to me. It's like a 12-year-old's idea of doing insider trading. Like,
Yeah.
damn, man, at least use a shell company or something, like an adult.
It's fucking literally like that one Simpsons bit where he's like, "Oh, I can't tell you about my client's illegal offshore's account. Oh crap, I shouldn't have said it was a client. Oh crap, I shouldn't have said it was an offshore's account. Oh crap, I certainly shouldn't have said it was illegal. Oh, it's too hot today."
That's exactly it. Like, damn, if you're gonna do it like a grown-up Yuji Naka. I guess I shouldn't. I guess I should expect that much from the guy who made Balan Wonderland.
Did you see the fucking hard drive article that was like,
No?
Yuji Naka happy in prison, his actions are limited?
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, it's stupid. It's extremely funny, but it is also very stupid.
And like, this is one of those things where like, oh, he's definitely going to jail.
Oh yeah, he's like
You fuck with the money.
going to jail. Yeah. And like, you did it in a very blatant way. Like, you weren't even sneaky about it. That's the thing, man. Like,
Fuck.
and you might not go to jail. I mean, it is Japan. Like, what's his face, the CEO of Ufotable. He didn't have to go to prison for like all of the tax evasion shit. He did. He just had to pay like a huge fine, right?
Right.
So there's a chance Yuji Naka isn't going to prison, like, but he will almost certainly have to pay a fuck off huge fine.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. So
I'm gonna make a very, very dark joke right now.
Go for it.
I'm imagining Yuji Naka's lawyers being like, "Are you fucking crazy? You fucked with the money? It's not like you drank someone's breast milk out of the company fridge. This is the money."
You shouldn't touch the money. Are you a moron? You can sexually harass women to your heart's content, but you can't touch the money, dipshit. Oh god, it's true though. I mean, like, don't touch it. Don't touch the fucking money, asshole.
You look at how quickly they slammed Yuji Naka compared to how Blizzard is still somehow able to put out content.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. You know, it is disheartening in that way. But at least Yuji Naka getting arrested is possibly one of the funniest headlines I've ever seen on Twitter.com.
Oh, yeah.
Alongside the Queen dies. You know? Yeah. A+ day for posting, folks. Well done all around.
He is, well, jail or not, he is done in the industry.
Super fucked. Yeah, between the fact that he, like, you know, he put out a bad video game, and then everybody at Square Enix was like, no, working with this guy fucking sucked ass, and we hate him. And now this? No, man is actually for real cooked. Yeah,
he is completely banished from the industry.
Yeah, which is, you know, small condolence, I suppose.
Yeah. Next, Bayonetta 4 will address the last game's ending in an unexpected way. I don't know how, but
do you know how Bayo 3 ends?
I mean, I listened to people who didn't like the ending talk about the ending.
Sure, that's the thing. So, that's how I am too.
Like, I have a very colored interpretation of how it ends.
Sure, I don't have a Switch, so I can't play Bayo 3. Yeah. So, like, I don't have first-hand account. But the point is that, like, I don't know how you're gonna address that ending.
Like, unless you just fucking, like, have Bayo 4 open with Bayonetta be like, that shit was crazy, glad we fixed it.
Psych, idiots. Right? Like, oh, man. It's also, I mean, like, I guess Bayo 3 sold enough.
Yeah.
To justify that, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this with Mass Effect 3, where it's like, no, fuck your integrity. Just retcon it and start over. Who cares?
Yeah, that's exactly what Mass Effect 4 should be, and I hope it is.
If it's bad, you're allowed to fix it. I don't care.
I don't care. If it sucks, I want it gone. Absolutely. Yeah. I guess in that way, it's like the ending of Fallout 4. It's like they didn't even have the integrity to keep their bad ending, but I suppose it's fine because I hate their bad ending. Mm-hmm. Not Fallout 4, Fallout 3, the one with the really bad ending. Yeah. Absolutely. So, well, I don't know how they're going to fix it, but
well, they'll give it. I mean, good on Kamiya for being like, oh yeah, I'm taking that shot. I'm swinging for the fences.
I mean, it's bold. If it had sold like dog shit, he wouldn't be saying that. But I suppose Bayo 3 did really well, so good for them.
Like him being like, don't worry, we'll address this in Bayo 4. Like, is this an announcement or are you like just confident?
Kamiya-san, is this an official announcement? I don't know if that's how that works.
Like, are you Dan Southworthing right now?
Yeah, exactly. Oh god. Okay,
next, Marvin the Martian joins Multiverses today.
Cute. Okay.
Yeah, fun.
Fun.
I am.
Have you played any of that?
I have not. I want to give it a shot because I really like the roster for Multiverses. I think they've made some pretty. Like, it looks fun.
Like it looks good. Like it seems like interesting and has enough of a budget, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's got voice acting, so I mean, it's got that above Nicktoons.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nicktoons. I mean, those guys, like we said before, those guys just weren't given any money.
Now, granted, they have now added voice acting to.
Oh, good for them.
Okay. But no, I think the roster for Multiverses is really fun. And I do like Marvin the Martian as a character, so
me too.
I might give that a shot.
For years and years and years, I had an email address that was Just Shot Marvin, and everybody thought it was Marvin the Martian. No, it's a Pulp Fiction reference, actually.
Which, wow! How have they not made that parody yet?
I don't know. I suppose because it would require shooting Marvin the Martian in the face.
Oh, like any Looney Tune character is not familiar with being shot in... Daffy Duck has made a career out of getting shot in the face.
That'd actually be extremely funny. Yeah, you say it. That actually would be great. Yeah. WB, I know you're busy ruining everything, but call me.
Avatar, The Way of Water needs to be the 3rd or 4th highest grossing film of all time to make money.
Oh, they're so cooked. Oh, speaking of people who are absolutely fucked.
Well, good luck with that.
I mean, I guess it could happen.
Cameron does have 2 of the 4.
He does have 2 of the 4, but like nobody is talking about. It's just like the original Avatar, which was like one of the highest grossing movies of all time, but also had 0 cultural impact, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's getting excited for this movie. Nobody's like hyped for this movie, you know?
Whenever I hear the term cultural impact, my mind, like the visual that enters my mind is like a crater, right? You know,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
Impact. And to me, the dust cloud that kicks up when Avatar hit the planet is less like the dust cloud that killed the dinosaurs and more like the dust cloud that obscured Frieza. Like, it didn't do anything.
Right.
It had no effect on him. He's still in there.
It still happened. Yeah, that's good.
It created a lot of dust and smoke, but nothing was accomplished.
I'm just so like... It has to be the 3rd or 4th highest grossing movie of all time. Like...
No, it's still the top.
What?
It's still the top. 2.9 billion.
Wait...
2.9 billion box office.
The original Avatar is still the highest grossing movie of all time?
Quote, the original Avatar movie currently sits at the top of the worldwide box office chart with 2.9 billion. Following that is Avengers Endgame with 2.7, Titanic with 2.2, and Star Wars The Force Awakens with 2.07.
How the fuck did Avatar...
I have no idea.
Outsell were we really just that desperate for like big budget movies back in like whenever the fuck that movie came out? Like, was there just nothing else happening that year?
When did the first Avatar?
I don't even know. I was still living in the country. It was a long time ago.
Avatar came out in 2009. Let me just check.
Oh god, has it really been that long?
2009 movie releases. What else came out in?
What else came out in 2009? 2007 was Iron Man. Was it just a dire year?
Hold on. Let me feature film. No, yeah. Released between 2009 and 2000. Yeah. That was Inglourious Bastards, The Hangover, The Blind Side, Star Trek, Watchmen, Sherlock Holmes, Harry Potter, Half-Blood Prince.
Wow, it actually beat a Harry Potter movie.
Coraline.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I can kind of see it.
X-Men, Wolverine, Princess and the Frog. Yeah.
There really wasn't anything else out that year that was like gonna be a big thing.
A blockbuster like that.
Yeah, I guess we were all just desperate for like a big blockbuster movie that year.
Because wait, Iron Man was 2008, right?
2007, 2008, something
yeah,
like that.
This was before they were like, here's 2 or 3 Marvel movies a year. So like,
right.
2009. Well, actually, no. 2009 still did have, like I said, Wolverine. Which was not an MCU movie, but
and it was like one of the less good ones. Yeah. Oops. But yeah, no, it's just extremely funny to me. Like, it has to make so much money to make it. Oh God.
Well, good luck with that, I guess.
Good luck. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to go see it. I don't give a fuck about Avatar. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sell 10 million copies in spite of performance complaints.
They're never gonna fix Pokemon, folks. Ever.
It's crazy how many people I've seen, like, not even like Pokemon or Nintendo fans, but like people who are like, yeah, this is the best Pokemon game. Despite everything.
Despite all of its problems, apparently it's the best Pokemon game. So like, fuck me, I guess. Yeah. They are just going to keep putting out Pokemon games every single year now.
Like, this is, I think so. I don't know who said it, but like someone put out like, this is the greatest 6 out of 10 to ever exist.
Sure, that's a shame. Damn.
Because like everything as far as like plot and like battle mechanics and whatnot are phenomenal, but you have to dock points for the glitches.
Absolutely. Like, you have to put, and like for how ugly the game, like, it's not just that the game is glitchy, it's that like, I watched that Digital Foundry video about Scarlet and Violet. The game is also just ugly. Like, yeah. I just think the game is like, sorry if you like Scarlet and Violet and you're listening to this, like if you like its aesthetic, I think its aesthetic is like extremely fucking ugly. I don't like any part of it except for like the character designs and Pokemon designs, right?
Yeah. I think since Black and White, Pokemon has not been able to settle on a good aesthetic. Yeah,
they came really close with Sword and Shield. I liked a lot of the stuff that was going on in that, mostly because I thought the character designs in Sword and Shield were fucking stellar.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen anything in Scarlet and Violet that does anything for me like the way a lot of those designs did. I don't know. But yeah, like this, I just don't like the way this game looks aesthetically. I think the game itself is actually just ugly, like in terms of visuals.
Yeah.
Like, it's really ugly. Like, it's ugly, janky, you know, Unity game indie shit texture tiling that you see that's so heinous.
Yeah.
It's just, but like, apparently it's still good. That's stunning to me.
Apparently, like everyone loves it.
They're never going to stop crunching those guys at Game Freak. No. Sorry. None of you are ever seeing your families ever again.
Next, Guilty Gear Strive DLC characters Sin Kisuke announced.
We have got to stop these freaks who are calling Sin a twink. We have to kill them.
Like,
we have to kill them.
People call Sin a twink like people say Genshin characters are thick.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm sorry. Words mean things.
Like, it is funny, like, the comparison, because, like, if you compare Sin to, like, Soul Bad Guy in Strive,
I guess he is a twink in that case, yeah.
I guess he is, like, a really, really skinny-looking dude, but, like...
compared to, like, Soul and the vampire guy, Nagoriyuki, or whatever his name is. Yeah, I guess in that case he is a twink, but like words still mean things to people. I have seen twinks, and Sin is not one of them.
People saying Sin is a twink, it's just like that one tweet that's like a comment on some K-pop girl, where it's like, OMG, her curls, and she just has like completely straight hair, and it's like K-pop fans will just wake up and lie.
They just wake up and lie. Yeah, people just get on Twitter and tell lies about somebody being a twink. I'm sorry. There's far too many muscles on that boy.
You think he's a twink because like his midriff is showing? No, he's so muscular his shirt is too tight.
It won't fit. Oh god. Yeah, no. I do like that so far. I do think this means that the next DLC character will be Zato, because we have blonde-haired girl with blue eyes with both of her eyes, blonde-haired boy with blue eyes with one of his eyes. So obviously the next step is Zato, who is blonde-haired and has no visible eyes.
Yes, that is the obvious next step in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm planting my flag right here. I'm saying Zato is going to be the next DLC character for Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I gotta pick up Strive at some point.
I know.
Because I'm looking at this
so bad
article.
at fighting games, but it's so beautiful, right?
I'm looking at this article. Here's a quote. He is the child of Kai, Kisuke, allied King of Illyria, and Dizzy, a half gear. I didn't know Kai and Dizzy were married, or even that Dizzy had a kid.
Kai and Dizzy made a baby. Yeah, it's crazy. I need to pick up Strive as well.
There's so much fucking lore in Guilty Gear.
There's so much lore in Guilty Gear. Holy shit, you never get through all of it.
All right. Next, Doom Eternal composer claims soundtrack was a nightmare.
Yeah, Mick Gordon deserves better.
Marty Stratton fucked him over and threw him under the bus super hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I also saw that response video from like the Bethesda guys who made Doom Eternal, and they're like, no, he's lying. It's like, bruh, that just makes me believe him even more. Of course, I believe Mick Gordon more than you freaks.
We literally just had this happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm still, you know what? Despite Helena Taylor poisoning the wells super hard, I am still choosing to believe Mick Gordon over those freaks.
Oh yeah,
Same
for
way
sure.
I'm still choosing to believe the founders of Zaum are like in the right here, which they are, mind you.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it costs you nothing to believe, like, the little guy until proven wrong, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, it costs you no money and no real emotional energy to just be like, yeah, he's probably telling the truth.
Like, also, unlike Helena Taylor, Mick Gordon's like, yeah, here's evidence.
Yeah,
here's
tons of
the
evidence.
records.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's like, no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, of course I believe Mick Gordon. He's extremely cool and almost certainly telling the truth.
To be clear, his claims are Mick Gordon. The soundtrack, the Doom Eternal soundtrack, was released without his approval. Mm-hmm. He was not paid for until 8 months through its production.
Wow.
He was not informed that he'd be working on the soundtrack for Doom Eternal's Collector's Edition until it was advertised in public.
Great.
And then a lot of it was done without his contribution.
Of course. That's such dog shit. Treat your creatives better.
Which, if anyone remembers when it came out, like, I remember reading, like, people were like, yeah, this sounds awful. Mm-hmm. And this is why.
That would be why. Makes sense.
So, he is done with Bethesda.
Yeah, I don't...
Probably.
I'm not surprised, and I don't blame him.
He also has said, like, don't boycott Doom Eternal because of this one asshole.
Sure.
A lot of people who I liked working with put their heart and soul into this game.
Mm-hmm. It's just one money man who's being a complete prick. Yeah.
Don't feel bad for buying it or enjoying it. You know,
Sure.
This is a direct thing with me and one person.
Right, yeah, of course. It's just one asshole who he's calling out and being like, hey, dude, screw you. Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Next, new trailer for Marvel's Midnight Suns looks at the combat. I care about this game because Spider-Man is in it. So I'm gonna pick it up and give it a shot, which,
sure.
I mean, I also like Fire Emblem. So, I mean, if this is going to be like XCOM, which is like Fire Emblem, or Fire Emblem is like XCOM, I don't know which one came first, whatever. But I will check it out and see if it's good because Spider-Man is in it.
We like Spider-Man, folks.
Yeah. Dead Island 2 showcase will show more action, gore, and zombies on December 6th.
Will it though?
Will it? Are you sure this time?
Are we sure? I mean, I'm sure it will in the same way that like Cyberpunk had a 45-minute gameplay demo and then still didn't come out for 3 more years.
And then none of that was in the game.
And none of that was in the game. Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, I'm sure on December 6th, something Dead Island 2 that looks like gameplay will come out. Will it be in the game? Probably not.
The subtitle or the subtitle for this article is the showcase comes after the game was recently delayed from early February to late April. Oh, was that all it was delayed for?
Is that it?
Oh,
that's all it was.
That's the only delay this game had. Okay.
Yeah, we're all being very dramatic.
Okay.
It's only had the one delay. Stop being such a drama queen.
I remember this was at least 4 years ago because I was not married, working from home yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not married when this happened. Being like, the Dead Island 2 trailer came up on my YouTube feed, and I'm like, oh yeah, that game never came out, did it?
Yeah, wow, what happened to that? The answer is, well...
Oh,
I see.
Well, that happened. I see.
Oh, okay.
Nothing happened to it.
Technically, nothing happened to Dead Island 2, which is the problem.
So we'll see if it's actually good, I guess. Or if it's even coming out. And finally, Martin Scorsese's lost film Goncharov explained.
I love this.
I think this is hilarious.
Really funny. It's he's aware of it. His daughter. It's his daughter that's on TikTok. It's either his daughter or his granddaughter, and is like showed his text message texting him, being like, "Have you seen this?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course, I remember directing that back in 1973." And it's like, yes,
yeah,
King, he understands.
I think the funniest thing about Goncharov on Tumblr is you read like the fake analyses and whatnot, and you realize that the reason Tumblr is so good at this is because every single analysis for everything is exactly the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, you are doing the exact same analysis and like interpretation of this fiction that you do for fucking She-Ra.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I don't know. I do love Tumblr. I think Tumblr has an extremely funny culture. I'm glad it's like picking up users now that Twitter is shitting itself to death. And like, I don't know, this is just, it's a fun, I think if you think it's like a forced meme or whatever, I think you need to grow up and let some people have some fun.
Yeah.
Cause like it's already over. It's like a flash in the pan, right?
Yeah.
Like,
this isn't gonna last any, like, I was like entertaining the idea of like, what if for April Fools we did like Goncharov the game?
Sure, but like by then it'll already be
it'll
over.
It'll be dead by then. I'm like, this will be dead before 2023.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be stone cold dead in a week, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's a fun kind of communal, creative writing and art making exercise, right?
Did you fucking see the thing where like, because Linda Carter created a Tumblr account?
Yes, God,
and then
she understands it instantly. She knows exactly how this website works.
One of the first things she posts is, oh, here's a picture of me and the Fonz on the red carpet at Goncharov.
Yeah, fantastic. She picked it up super easily.
Yeah, that Calvin and Hobbes comic where Rosalind plays Calvin Ball. Calvin's like, man, Linda Carter really picked up the eccentricities of this website fast.
Yeah, it rules. It's super, it's funny, it's cute, it's just like a way. One of my favorite jokes is people pointing out, one, that that Goncharov has more fan fiction than Avatar.
Yes.
Which is great. And then two, somebody pointed out, writing fan fiction for Goncharov, you're just writing fiction at that point. Yeah. You got tricked, idiot.
This is you, yeah. There is nothing to be a fan of. This thing doesn't exist.
There's no fan fiction. There's no source material here. You're just writing a movie script. Congratulations.
Sarah, we talked about this recently. This is just a standalone complex.
Please look forward to the Gorge talks about Ghost in the Shell standalone complex season 1, because it's very important that we finally clear the air about this one. But this is categorically a standalone complex. It literally is based off of somebody's bootleg sneakers. That's it.
One of my favorite jokes is, "Oh, Goncharov, you mean Blorbo from my shoes?"
Exactly. It's great. I love it. It's deranged. I love it, especially because like the Goncharov thing, like the original shitpost that like showed the shoes and it's like, I've got some fake ass, I got these fake ass Jordans, and they're advertising a Martin Scorsese movie that's never existed. That was months ago.
Yeah.
Like, that post is really old, but somebody on Tumblr was just like, well, I'm going to make a movie poster for it. Yeah. And suddenly everybody took off running. A+, very funny bit.
I can't wait for someone to print it and frame it and then put the Goncharov movie poster alongside their poster for like Taxi Driver.
At what you do
Pulp
is
Fiction.
you try to get Martin Scorsese to sign it, right?
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Then you've lent it legitimacy. Good for them,
Yeah.
Like I said, very funny bit. I have no comments. Keep going until it finally burns itself out. Funny joke. I love it.
I just like people are already like people comparing it to like, well, we already have it. It's called Disco Elysium.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what it is. It's fine. Just go play Disco Elysium. That's it.
That's the Goncharov game.
Yeah.
I love the and this is something that like really made me nostalgic for like early 2000s CO on 4chan, where we would do this shit all the time.
Oh my god, I totally remember. Absolutely, CO was was the place to just make superheroes by committee, right?
When Harry Partridge put out the Watchmen Saturday morning cartoon, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember watching that when I was a kid. I mean, this is just like, here's the plot line of the episodes, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it was everybody riffing off of everybody's jokes, right? And it was great. I was on 4chan during that time period when CO was making their own superhero team and stuff, right? All of these little things. It was great. It was just really fun. It's just fun to kind of communally, be silly and tell a story.
This fun communal improv where everyone, even 4chan, the most cynical, nightmarish place on the planet, was still yes-anding.
Absolutely, and everybody's going along with the joke, and everybody is like delightfully consistent in what the joke is. Yeah, which is the same thing going on with the whole Goncharov thing. It's like everybody has sort of independently coalesced into deciding what the rules are, right? Like what the tone of the movie is and all that fun stuff, who the characters are. That's all kind of come together independently, just kind of out of the muck of everybody yes-anding each other until you've got, a general idea of what the movie is. And it's great. Like, obviously, we know all about really good pieces of media that very few people have experienced. Please go listen to our Alien Omen episode.
Yes.
So yeah, it's fun. Everybody just kind of has that innate, that innate desire to just kind of be silly and tell a story to each other as a big group, right? Yeah, it's great.
Now the crazy, I'm trying to find the post. I think I either liked it or upvoted or wherever I saw it from. The most insane thing is that there is a movie in the 70s with very it's a mob movie with very homoerotic tones in it. Starring Peter Falk
Okay.
from Columbo.
Holy shit! What's it called?
I gotta find the post.
Good for Columbo.
Because it was like, oh yeah, you want the real Goncharov. It's this.
It's a mob movie with Columbo in it. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Because people were like, okay, well, obviously I'm being, trolled here or whatever, because like, someone was like, here's screen caps of this movie, and it's like Peter Falk in like a ratty trench coat.
Sure.
And like, here's a link to the movie on YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, it's a Rickroll, right? Like whatever, and then it's just screen caps of Columbo episodes and whatnot.
Sure.
But then you click on it, it's like, no, it's a movie. It's a real movie.
Like a real movie. Yeah, exactly.
Mikey and Nikki, that's it, from 1976.
All right then. There you go. Real life Goncharov.
Holy shit.
Amazing. Oh god. Okay.
That's it. That's all I got for this news cycle.
Great. We had generally good news, and including some extremely funny news. So that's a good news cycle. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. We have one regular episode left for the year, and then we've got Game Awards coming up. When are the Game Awards?
When are the Game Awards? Game Awards are a joke this year. They're all, like I said, they let the communists win exactly once, and they're like, never again.
They are streaming Thursday, December 8th.
Okay.
So we will be...
we'll be live for that.
Yep, doing our recap of that, and then we've got our annual Gorgies.
Yeah, the most prestigious of gaming awards that you could possibly ask for. Jeff Keighley wishes
we had prestigious as the impact.
Absolutely. People receive awards from us and they send us thank you letters just in tears.
They put that shit on the box.
Absolutely. Was a recipient of the 2018 Gorgie. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, then that'll be it for the year. So
yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you to DJ Cutman for use of background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to listen to Sara talk about other things, you can listen to our other podcast. Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We cycle through different systems, like every month or two-ish. So there's always different games going on. So if one doesn't quite strike your fancy, come back. We'll have something different. We just finished up Strike Down Vader, a game where you are, as the name implies, trying to kill Darth Vader. And I like it a lot. It's like a very simple but deep kind of pick up and play RPG system that I enjoy. We don't know what the December block is going to be. It might be Pig Smoke, which is one of my favorites. Pig Smoke is a game where you play as professors at a magical college and you're all like fucked up idiots, and you're just doing your best and failing. So look forward to that. That might be what we're playing. I don't know. You should follow us on all of our social media, where we are also Big Gay Nerds, and be able to find out there. Yeah, I'm screwing up this promo. Anyways, thanks. All right, that'll do it for us. What do you got? Fuck Marty Stratton. Yeah, absolutely. Pay your creatives. How are you going to screw over Mick fucking Gordon? The guy who wrote BFG Division? You're really going to screw over the guy who wrote BFG Division? Are you insane? We talked a lot about golden geese and the eggs inside of them. Like, how are you gonna kill this golden goose to not even harvest the eggs? I know, it's vile, it's disgusting. Don't do Mick Gordon like that, okay? Don't do that. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.